Three. Awesome. Welcome to Contractor's Mastermind 2020 edition podcast. I got Mr. Mark King on the line. Welcome, man.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, man. So tell us where you're out of, introduce you and your business, and I'll kind of let you roll from there and tell us about your story.
All right. Well, yeah, my name is Mark King. I run Infinite Decks. We're a high-end specialized deck company, specialize in, decks and outdoor features. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty much known for our custom curves and designs and high-quality builds. Been in the industry since, early 2000s, so it's been about 20 years. Definitely, it's crazy. Back in high school, for some reason, I knew I wanted to do decks. I knew, construction was what I wanted to do, and decks just seemed like it was a well-rounded project that isn't too big, isn't too small. You're not doing multiple a day, or, you're also not on them all year. I definitely have a passion for what I do, and, always striving to do better and show better work.
Yeah, man. What was it about decks in particular that got you started?
I don't know. It's tough, man. In high school, school never kept my attention other than like math and wood shop. So
yeah,
it's there, trying to learn things that really didn't interest me. Just brain wandered, and I don't know. I like working with my hands. I like doing, creating things that, not everybody else can do. Like I said, decks for me was like a perfect size project. I like new things. I can't drive to the same job site over and over again. Like if I had an office job, there's no way I could take that same route every day for years, So I like new, fresh things and, creating stuff with my hands.
So you said you focus on high-end decks. What is that solely what you focus on? Do you do fencing? Is it just decks? Like what is what's
so since the beginning, we kind of took on we're out of Minnesota, so Minnesota is a big it's got a great deck environment, and then also porches are really big out here. We used to do a lot of porches just because we're kind of a smaller crew. We kind of started to hone out of those and just focus on, custom decks. We're able to put more time and effort into our decks and not have to worry about subcontracting the roofs and, siding and such. And, and then decks as far as high end, I say high end just to kind of eliminate a lot of the leads we get. Do footing extraction. We don't repair decks. We don't even really do what they call a redeck or a deck over. When we're working on a project or designing or building, we're working with materials that have just these outstanding warranties, and to put that on an old frame is just, it doesn't make sense to us, and it's easy for us to explain that to the customer. Typically, obviously, framing has a lifespan, not even where close to the decking or trim we're installing. So if we can start with a fresh frame, it'll help everybody out. And so we've gotten to the point where in the past we've done a bunch of high-end cedar decks, where they're really cool details. But the way the cedar is gone, it's just what we see out here at least is a bunch of fast growth sapwood, so it doesn't hold the oil as well. And we've gone back to projects, and it's just sad. We put a lot of hard work and time into some of these, and then all the tannins come out, and they just don't get taken care of. They start drying out. It's just, we're trying to build a project that our clients can enjoy and not have to maintain, and something that lasts a while. We have clients that we built decks for 8 years ago that if the time comes and in the right location, they still allow us to show their project to some of our new clients or someone that might be interested in what we do.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's kind of where we get into the high and low maintenance decks, just because, like I said, we are a small company. We're a crew or two at best, and we stay plenty busy with just the custom decks.
Right. So what's So back up again, back to, you said you've been in business for about 20 years. What are some of the hurdles? What are some of the toughest parts about owning a business over the past 20 years that you've noticed? We'll talk about currently what's going on. But what were some of those obstacles that you had to overcome, or what were some of the toughest parts from starting to where you're at today?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, in the beginning of 2000s, it was kind of the early stages of composites. I mean, we've seen a number of companies come and go, you know, class action suits, things like that, product fails. Um, Now, not to mislead, but I've been in the trades for about 20 years. I haven't necessarily owned Infinite Decks for that long. Throughout the beginning process, I was a lead carpenter almost right away, ran a crew. I've worked for a number of companies around here. I kind of learned what a lot of companies do, don't do, and I've kind of just honed in what I liked and didn't like about what other people do and kind of created what I wanted to do. And that's kind of where I ended up now, just because, I mean, I would just get bored building other people's projects. So for me, it's fun to do the design build and meet with clients and kind of just create things. I think one of my favorite things is just seeing the clients be like, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. And then they sign up, we build it for them, and you know, the reactions we get and for the quality and the artistic value that we're adding, it's rewarding on top of the payments. So it's kind of what we were after. So yeah, I mean, how times have changed. Yeah, it's, you know, I've probably only built, I think, 2 treated decks in my life. Other than that, like I said, the beginning stages or earlier years, cedar was really big just because, you know, it's known and it's an easy product. But watching other low maintenance products come and go, noticing what worked, what failed, kind of led us into where we know what we want to use now, and we feel really confident in the products we do. That you know, we feel like, you know, we're specialists. You know, we're coming in. There's obviously, we don't feel great about every product out there. We feel really strong about the ones we show. So we're able to, without knocking anybody else's product, just kind of show and highlight what we do and the products we use. And we've noticed that that works really well for us.
Almost answers the next question I had. Like, if a customer had to choose between you and 3 other of your competition, like, that's what it sounds like. You're very detail oriented. You know what works and what doesn't for both long term, you know, rather than just the quick buck. Like, we're looking to build something that you enjoy for a long period of time. You know, something that can
Right.
withstand, but also look awesome in the meantime.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, in Minnesota, over the course of a year, I mean, we'll see easily 120-degree swing from winter to summer. So, I mean, we work year round on outdoor deck projects, whether it's midwinter or midsummer, and you just handle the product differently. It's different installs and things like that. And being what I consider a specialist, we're able to install the product at the correctly given the time of year and the temperatures and things like that.
Right.
You know, when we're meeting with clients and they're meeting with anywhere from 2 to 5 other people, I back out of any bidding war because we're definitely not the cheapest, and I explained that from the very beginning, and by no means should we be.
Right.
But that being said, I'm always interested in getting to like a design battle or something. You know, if it's coming down to who has the best design and quality, then I'll throw down with any company around. You know, it's just I especially this year, I've noticed that after the pandemic, everybody's just looking to have a deck built, and it just seems a lot of people nowadays are just looking for that best price deck. And it's like, man, you just can't rush into something like that. First of all, it's one of the most visible parts of your exterior, you know, and then just to have anybody install you know, a low maintenance product that's typically pretty expensive is, to me, almost a shame, you know, because, you know, in a few years when that doesn't look as good as day one, I can tell you why.
Right.
You know, that's what helps us separate us from others too. So, but also at the same time, I always tell my clients, if it's getting down to where you're on the fence between us and another contractor, I strongly push to have them check out our work and their work. And if it comes down to that, 9 times out of 10, we got that. Actually, more like 10 out of 10, you know, if we could show our product that
Yeah.
was called years ago, I mean, like I said, we know what we're doing, and we're very passionate about what we do, and I mean, we install all of our decks as if they're on our own house. So
Right. Right. So what has okay, so I'm gonna lead this one. If you had to go back 6 months and anticipate, this is kind of shifting. Like, what does business look like in 2020? What does business look like during this pandemic stuff going on? You know, what would you do if you could go back 6 months and prep for the times we're in currently? It sounds like things have been going pretty good for you, which is a good problem to have.
right, yeah, no, we're definitely busy.
Yeah, tell me a little more about that.
Let's see. So yeah, I guess to prep, it's like, the way I've explained it this year to people is, or colleagues and friends in the business, that in the past couple years, I feel like I've done really well as far as setting up our media and marketing to where we kind of hone in on the higher end clientele that's looking for a high end product, and this year was different because, like I said, the pandemic and such. So I think what I'm gonna probably do, that it's been recommended to me from a few people, is probably just go back to my website and kind of do ballpark pricing on some of our projects. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm listening.
Sorry, my screen went blank. I don't know if you still see me, but
I can still see you. Is it still on the Zoom?
yeah.
It might be in the background.
Okay.
All good?
Yeah, no, we're back now. So yeah, I think just having ballpark pricing out there, because a lot of customers see our different, projects, and they kind of like the ideas or designs, and being able to do that and let people know, like, so at least they got a budget in mind. That's one thing about decks is, I mean, how do you budget something you don't even know anything about, really, for most people, and there's material calculators and such like that out there on the internet. But I think for us, it would just help the people who are looking at what we do and how we do it. At least there's kind of ballpark pricing. That's what I'm actually working on right now, today, in fact.
Yeah.
So, I think that's going to help. Yeah, other than that, I feel like we do really well with our social media. I think the drones have been amazing for us to be able to capture photos of projects that in the past I used to have to throw up an extension ladder and climb on the roof and hang over and things like that. So I think we're on the right track again. It was just a little weird with the pandemic. Like I said, for like 2 weeks, all of a sudden it just dropped off. But then after those 2 weeks, it was like we didn't even skip a beat, and we're just being inundated with leads again. So
that's awesome.
Definitely plenty of work out there. Everybody's obviously, with what we're going through right now, everybody wants to be outside. Most people are, stuck at home because there's not restaurants open and things like that, at least in Minnesota. So yeah, we're just trying to, cater to the client's needs and get as much out there as possible.
That's awesome. What has been your number one source of new customers? Is it all your website, or you have other means of, what has that been looking like for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're across the board as far as social media. We're on Houzz and Hope and Pinterest and all that, and Instagram, Facebook. I would say our website is our best lead generator. I think a lot of people still go to the web or the internet and Google custom decks or custom decks near me, and luckily I work with a really good web designer, and they're always there to help us out. So I think they've done really well with what we've got going on. We started working with them about 1.5 years ago, and really well on Google, so that's good. And we are still generating quite a bit of leads, and we get a number of customers that are looking for exactly what we do. So yeah, no, times are good right now, considering.
What do your next steps look like? What are your, so let's talk about like benchmark goals. What are the next 6 months, year, but next 1 to 5 years? What does that look like for you and your business? I know you said you're kind of more of a specialized, you got 2 teams running right now. Are you looking to continue to expand that and continue to take over more market share in your area? Are you looking to just kind of stay where you're at and kind of just keep moving forward? Like, what's that looking like for you? What are some like short-term
Yeah.
goals that, have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, no, I think about it all the time. It gets brought up to me quite a bit too. It's difficult for us to maintain the high level of quality I'm trying to put out and I want to put my name on.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, in years past, I've had up to 3-4 crews just because of how busy we were and how much work we were putting out there. But in the end, there's a lot of headache and running around, and I just don't know it really panned out well for us for what we're trying to do. We're
Yeah.
not a burn company, you know. Like I said, every project we put all of our effort and quality into. So to be able to expand much more than we are, I wouldn't hold my breath, but I'm always open for it. So
Yeah.
like right now I got, a couple handfuls of really good guys and I'm going to run with that. And if we're able to grow, I think the market is here for us to grow.
Sounds like it.
At the same time, I just want to be able to maintain the quality and the name that we're putting out and on every project.
Right.
Say the next 6 months, year, 5 years, it's tough to say. I mean, do I want to have 4 or 5 crews running, putting out the work that we are putting out right now? Absolutely. Do I see that happening? It's tough to say. I know the lumberyard we work with, the owner, Sunny, she's great. She's been working a lot with trying to get, like wood shop and things like that back into the schools. When I first started, I mean, it was a big option to get into construction at a high school. Now, I mean, for like the past 10 or more years, you just don't really see that anymore. There's not the turnover rate of new guys coming in. I mean, the trade guys are getting older, it's just, it's different. So I'm really hoping as, time goes on, we're able to kind of incorporate more young guys and just show them that, you don't have to go to college to make a good living and have fun doing it. And that's what we're after, we do well and we pay our bills, but at the same time, we have a lot of fun. I mean, in our crew, we joke and laugh all the time. I mean, it's very laid back, laid back enough to where we still get stuff done, but have a good time doing it. And that's what we're after. It's, like they say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So, yeah.
Yeah. What, last question, and we'll kind of wrap this up and I'll cut the recording and we'll get on with our day. But any advice, thoughts, rude remarks, whatever you want to throw out there for anybody who may be listening?
And I just say, do what makes you happy. Honestly, choose the products you back, do the designs you want to do that you're comfortable with. If you're looking to push the limits and, get into, more exaggerate designs, do it. You're not going to get better at doing something unless you start doing it. So, we've been doing curves for a long time. And now I feel like we're one of the best out there because we've been doing it for over a decade now. So I would say, the more people out there doing high quality work, it just helps everybody just raise the bar across the board. So, I just welcome everybody to just keep raising the bar and let's just make this industry bigger and better every day.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Mark's here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you hopping on the call. I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.